Having a technology platform, we get a ton of data, and that just means user data, performance data, and being able to make sense of that data can sometimes be a challenge. What's the next most important feature to build? What's the next most important feature to optimize? What's the next most important decision to make? Leveraging Sheets with Gemini has been really phenomenal in terms of helping us inform strategy, and then also empowering our team to have the analytics tools to be able to make data-driven decisions. The ability to use Google Sheets with Gemini has had an incredible impact on our business. It's been a game changer. I can't imagine not using this.
There's something really satisfying about a good spreadsheet. It's so organized. It's so contained. But let's face it, all that data can also take a long time to analyze and make sense of. Fortunately, Gemini and Google Sheets can speed up the process so that you can get straight to making smart, data-driven decisions. Let's give it a try. I'll open up a Google Sheet with product feedback survey data and start with a super simple prompt. We're able to keep it simple because the spreadsheet has all the context Gemini needs. And a more open-ended prompt helps us discover broader trends or patterns in the data. Analyze this product feedback survey data. And just like that, Gemini has analyzed the feedback survey data and is helping me identify areas for improvement. There's a few places where I'd like to see higher scores, but today I'll just focus on the ease of use score. I'll ask Gemini for more help. Based on the feedback, what can I do to improve my ease of use score? Gemini offered 7 different recommendations on how to improve. Some items I can address pretty quickly, like improving documentation and tutorials, but others will be more challenging, like reducing glitches and errors. Overall, this information was insightful and will help me improve my customers' experience. If you're not a data person, don't worry. Just prompt Gemini and Sheets to get you started. You can ask simple questions like, what are the trends? Or what data points should I be paying attention to and why? This approach of starting broad and getting more narrow is especially useful if you are trying to uncover new trends, correlations, or insights from a data set. Finally, you can also use Gemini to generate data visualizations. Once you gather your insights, ask for a chart or a graph to represent your data. Now you can easily share your findings with others. Ready to give it a try? What data do you need help analyzing?
AI for our company is transformational. The amount of time saving that we're seeing is incredible. At Stream Creative, we do digital marketing, so that includes everything from video production to website design, content marketing, and sales enablement. I talked with my project managers, and they said that they cut down the time that it takes them to follow up after a meeting from 1 hour down to 15 minutes. So you multiply that by 3, 4, 5 meetings in a day, that really adds up really quickly. So it's been a huge time saver for our company, and that's allowed our project managers to do more creative and fun things and connect with their customers better.
So, you just got out of a meeting that covered a lot of territory, and you need to take next steps on everything discussed. Normally, you'd need to organize your notes, turn them into action items, draft an email, and so on. Your day just got a lot longer. But thankfully, Gemini can step in to take a lot of this work off your plate. It can help you transform your notes into meeting follow-up, a project brief, a social media post, and more. Let's see how it works. We'll start with a persona and some context. You are an executive at a creative marketing agency. You just got off an informative call with a potential new client that you want to do business with. In the meeting, we discussed a few themes for the potential client's blog. So now, I'll add the task for Gemini and include the format. Help me transform the attached meeting transcript into 3 blog post ideas. Gemini now has all the information it needs to transform the meeting transcript into smart blog post ideas. Notice how quickly we were able to transform a meeting transcript into a deliverable for a potential client. And the blog post ideas are great. Each idea includes a content outline and explains why this idea works for the client and their target audience. You can turn to Gemini whenever you need to turn a meeting recap into something else to help you drive forward. For example, a concise summary email or a client's feedback on a project. Just remember these steps when you're prompting Gemini to transform one type of content into another. 1. Give Gemini context on your situation and your goal. Then, Make sure to specify the output format. In this example, I wanted blog post ideas, but next time I may want a detailed week-by-week timeline, a short proposal, or a bulleted list of next steps. Also, this is where adding all of your requirements or constraints can help Gemini ensure it provides you with what you need. And lastly, make sure you add any relevant documents to your prompt. In this case, I attached the meeting transcript to be used as a source to create the outlines for blog post ideas.
If you're a small business owner like me, getting fresh design feedback is crucial. Now that we use AI, it's an indispensable tool in our agency. We do a lot of creative for our clients, and we have a lot of clients that we have to support. Using Gemini to upload those things and have it ask questions about the brand guidelines and make sure things are right has been huge for us.
When you need an expert eye on your company's marketing, Gemini can be your creative sidekick. Whether you're working on a new logo, a website revamp, or a resized banner ad, it can give you feedback on whether your ad copy is hitting the mark, identify weak spots in your website layout, or offer pointers on jazzing up your new logo. I'll show you how this works. We'll give Gemini a persona and ask for feedback on a promotional flyer. You're a creative director specializing in brand strategy, marketing, and creative asset development. The attached promotional flyer is what we use when pitching to prospective clients. Now I'll give it a bit more detail about the audience and my goals. For some, it may be the first time they get information about our services. We want the flyer to win them over. And finally, the task. Provide a creative critique on the flyer. Offer suggestions on how to improve the flyer and rationale behind each suggestion. We'll need to attach an image of the flyer to this prompt. I was really specific with the expertise I wanted Gemini to use when critiquing this flyer. And to really help me out, I asked for suggestions on how to improve it with rationale behind each suggestion. Okay, let's take a look at Gemini's critique. Wow, that's a pretty comprehensive overview of what works and what doesn't. In just a few seconds, I got useful tips not only on the contents of the flyer, like the headline, but also on the visual design and layout. It also pointed out things that were missing entirely, like a call to action. Now I have suggestions for a snappier headline, more customer-focused and benefit-driven copy, and most importantly, a powerful call to action. You may want to use Gemini as your creative thought partner when you need to evaluate a new page on your website or to evaluate a poster or physical signage. When you use Gemini for help, remember the following. Decide what persona you want Gemini to take as it conducts its review. Is it a member of your target audience? Say, a business commuter who saw your ad on a billboard? Or maybe you want Gemini to take on the persona of a marketing expert or creative director. Make sure to clarify the objectives of that piece of marketing. Is it meant to generate new business inquiries, drive in-store visits? It's also really helpful to give details about your target audience. Gemini's recommendations will then be more specific and more helpful. And when you ask Gemini for its feedback, make sure to also ask for suggestions on how it can be made better and its rationale for each. You'll then be able to better evaluate which changes are worth making.
Gemini helped me create useful FAQs for my customers. I founded Advisory in 2019. We're a platform connecting transfer students from community college with universities. We have a lot of institutions joining Advisory, and they all have varying questions. We found that having frequently asked questions, or FAQs, is a great way to save time. It's also a great way to drive inbound interest in terms of new institutional partners. So we've leveraged Gemini in order to upload product descriptions, one-sheets, and content into Gemini, then to help us frame how and what FAQs we might be asked, and then to be able to generate responses to those FAQs. The quality was phenomenal. We were able to use them immediately in customer responses and then use nearly all of the content for our website.
Up-to-date FAQs, or frequently asked questions, can be really helpful to customers who need to navigate technical product features or policies. Gemini can break down complex information like instruction manuals or technical specs and turn it into user-friendly FAQs. This helps you keep customers happy while reducing the amount of support requests you need to field, and it gives you more time to focus on other priorities. I'll show you how this works. Let's say I run an online service that helps small businesses manage their office supply inventory. We have product documentation with important information about our service, how it works, and how to set it up. Unfortunately, it's not very customer friendly, so we'll ask Gemini to help create FAQs. Let's start with some context and then include a really specific task. I'm launching a new online service for small businesses. This service helps small businesses manage the inventory and ordering of office supplies. Using the attached product feature documentation PDF, create 10 FAQs that can live on my website. Now I'll add more detail on what I'm looking for. I don't want it to cover absolutely everything in the FAQs, so I'll be specific. Make sure the FAQs emphasize key features of the service, how to set it up and troubleshoot. Use friendly and approachable language. And of course, I'll add the source material, our PDF. Notice the specifics I included in the prompt. I'm giving Gemini lots of details, like information about the company, the topics we want, the number of FAQs we need, where these FAQs will live, and the tone of voice we'd like. Okay, let's see what Gemini creates. Gemini gave us 10 FAQs on the topics I requested, written in a friendly and easy to understand way, just like I asked. If customers aren't receiving low stock alerts, now they'll know exactly why that might be. We don't have to stop here though. Check this out. With just one extra prompt, I can translate my FAQ to another language. Now I can help more people answer top questions about my product. If I had more topics to cover and generated an even longer list of FAQs, I could ask Gemini to organize them into categories like shipping and returns, product features, and troubleshooting. You can use the same idea and transform other materials too, so people can get their questions answered. Say you have a sales performance report you're presenting, you could ask Gemini to turn it into an FAQ you can circulate ahead of time. Ready to give it a try? What documentation do you have to turn into more accessible FAQs for customers?
I have 50 employees, 6 different locations. I have a ton of meetings a week. Those meetings are often me scrambling to take notes or trying to set it up or do the things about meetings that no one wants to do. So I guess that's my issue. So introducing note-taking by Gemini in our meetings has helped me let go of all that. My responsibility now is to engage with my employees, make sure they're supported and have the answers they need. There's accountability for both my employees and myself. We can look back and reference these things historically. So instead of focusing on meeting for meeting's sake, now we can focus on running a business and having a dialogue and making sure the business is running efficiently.
Is it important to take notes on what's being discussed and agreed upon in a meeting? Yes. Can the very act of taking notes distract you from what's happening in the meeting? Also yes. But you can direct Gemini to take notes for you so you can stay engaged and focused. Here's how it works. When you start a Google Meet, select the Take Notes with Gemini feature. After you're done with your meeting, you can review the AI-generated notes in a Google Doc. Then you can edit and share them with all the meeting attendees. You can also prompt Gemini in Docs to do more with your notes, like summarize key decisions made, create the agenda for next week's meeting, or draft a follow-up email reminding managers of their action items. Let's give it a try now. Create a follow-up email reminding attendees of their action items. There we have it, an email draft I can easily copy and customize so that the team can keep moving forward. For those of us who attend nonstop meetings or may want some help staying organized, this is a game changer. I have a few more tips when you're using Gemini and Docs for meeting follow-up. Say there's a very specific part of the document where I need Gemini's help. I can highlight that text and direct Gemini in Docs to reduce the highlighted part of the meeting notes to a 2-line summary. Another thing I love to do, say I wanted to include a quick reminder about our project's goals, but that information lives in another document. No problem. You can pull this information in. Just use the @ symbol and type in the document's name, then tell Gemini what you want to do with it. Test it out. What documents are you working on, and how might you use Gemini to help you stay organized and on track?
One of the challenges my agency has is when we're starting with a new client, we need to get up to speed pretty quickly. We work with a lot of different clients. We have some in the fire apparatus space. We also work with plastic injection molding companies. NotebookLM gave us an opportunity to upload a lot of knowledge about the client, and then my team can get up to speed quickly. So when we start working with a client, we ask them for specific information, whether it's brochures about their products or their brand voice or their brand guidelines, and we can upload that knowledge into the NotebookLM. Once the NotebookLM is created, I can share it with different team members. The benefit is our team can ask questions and get up to speed quickly about that client.
Now let's take a look at how you can keep your team up to speed on what's going on with your clients. Let me show you how it works. Let's say I've been hired by a painting company to do their marketing. I need to learn about their business fast. Luckily, they've given me a bunch of different resources I can upload into NotebookLM. We have the client's company flyer, client reviews, customer surveys, customer service emails, and the employee handbook. However, I need to do more than just learn about their business. I should also study up on their industry. So in the same notebook, I'll upload a report on consumer trends and another about the paint industry. I could even enrich my notebook using the Discover Sources feature right here. Notice all the great types of sources. We've got PDFs, documents, a website, and even a slide deck. Now the fun part. Imagine I'm preparing for this meeting and I want to become familiar with some of the challenges their industry faces, as well as what makes their business competitive. I'll prompt, what challenges does the painting industry currently face? Okay, so NotebookLM summarized all of my sources into 7 key challenges. Now I know that navigating the landscape and handling complaints could be an issue. This is good to know as I prepare for the meeting. I don't want to sound uninformed. Now I want to learn more about the company itself. I'll prompt, what are Harmonious Hue's biggest opportunities as a company? I'm not only learning about the challenges the industry faces, but I'm getting information about how my client matches up. I'll definitely focus on their customer service excellence since it's a known issue in the industry. So the next time you need to learn about something, and fast, try building a notebook. Simply upload your sources and ask questions. And remember, because NotebookLM only uses the sources you give it, those sources matter to the result it provides. So make sure you provide the most relevant sources for each notebook.
Whether it's seasonal or whether it's just people exploring their other ventures, we tend to have people come and go through the company. The overall challenge is being able to give employees the right resources consistently. With NotebookLM, employee onboarding is definitely easier and more accessible. Heritage Hospitality Group is made up of 6 different concepts. I have around 50 employees, give or take. Seasonally, it goes up to 60, can go down to 45. But maintaining that consistency in policies and procedures with the turnover is important for any business to have a good rapport with their employees. And as a business owner, I mean, that's a lot of work. I mean, that's a job of 3 people. It's just a matter of saving me time and giving them the data that they need to make decisions.
It's always exciting when a new person joins your team. But at the same time, starting a new job can be a lot to take in for the employee. And it can require a lot from you to get them up to speed. Add to this, some types of businesses experience more turnover than others. So how can you make it easier for everyone when a new teammate joins? Let's say I own a chain of coffee shops and I want to make employee policies and procedures easier to navigate for new hires. I'm going to show you how I can enlist NotebookLM's help. This is especially great because I don't have an HR department. I am the HR department. I'll start by uploading our PTO policy, dress code policy, and employee handbook to NotebookLM. Before sharing with new employees, I'll test it out with a question about the dress code. Can I wear jeans to work? NotebookLM comes back with accurate answers about our specific dress code. It also indicates what source it pulled that from if I want to verify. Let's try another trickier question. My first day is on Monday. When will I receive my first paycheck? This question comes up a lot, and NotebookLM provides employees an immediate answer. Now that I feel confident NotebookLM will surface the correct information to new employees, I can share it with the new team members. But to make their first day easier, I'll take it a step further and generate an audio overview. This is a fun and engaging way to onboard new employees. Let's customize the audio overview for my new hires. Create an engaging onboarding for new hires. I want them to feel excited about joining my team while also gaining access to important information about working here. Let's give it a listen.
Hey, you. Welcome to the team. Think of this as your backstage pass to understanding what makes this coffee shop tick.
This is great. The tone is upbeat and engaging and addresses my new hire directly. Imagine their first day on the job. They're listening to this great onboarding overview and getting all the info they need in less than 15 minutes. Short on time? You can adjust the playback speed to get through all of your information quicker. It's also downloadable to share with others.